What is individuality?
Yeah, like, are you looking at, like, the way different looks, things, react?
That's all of it. That's all of it. It's, everything is what makes you individual if you are individual. Or
Cool. I think.
Oh, God.
I think it's impossible to be all the same. I mean, if you're just talking about a human me versus you, it's impossible for us to be the same because we are our own individuals. The way that I grew up was different, the way that I dress, act, think is different. You can do maybe you and I can dress alike, but that doesn't mean that we're the same. Last night, I went on Snapple.com and they always get stacked. No two lips are the same expression. Like, they're all like made. What? All right. No.
Anyway.
Lips, not lids. Lips are like the same. Like, they're each, like, every single person's lips are like different.
So long
Actually, one thing.
to answer the question directly, so long as there is genetic differentiation, there will be individuality. Whether it's in thought or not, there will still be
Scientifically.
individuality. So the answer to the question is yes.
Well, aside from being genetic,
there's, like, everyone's experiences in life are different from everyone else's. Like, we all may go to the same basketball game, but we're not all sitting in the exact same spot. We're all seeing it from a different viewpoint. Therefore, we're all individuals because we see it from a different perspective.
I think there's different aspects of people's lives. Like, some of it can be individuality, but then there are the part that's, like, the same as everybody else. Like, I can have an opinion on something, or I can do something different than other people, but then there's other parts of my life that I do the same as everybody else. So I think it just happens to do with, like, different aspects.
in general, people can be individuals, but I don't think someone can entirely be, like, 100% individuals, because, like, if certain things that happen in your life are caused by other people, so, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, either way, you can't entirely have it, be entirely different from everyone else, no matter what you do. I mean, you can still be individual in different things, but I don't think altogether you can be.
Whenever we talk about this, Mr. Roberts always brings up, well, because they listen to different music, they wear different clothes, but the reason you have those, and they're out there for you to have, is because somebody else does like them. So you might be individual from the people in your area. Like, I know for sure that I listen to more music than almost anybody I know, and nobody knows anything I listen to. But if I was to go to Seattle, everybody would have the same thing on their iPod. So it's definitely regionally based on what you know and things like that.
Yeah, well, it also makes a difference as far as, you listen to a lot of music, and I also listen to a lot of music.
It's what you
but,
love. It's what you love.
I listen to stuff from the 40s and the 60s, the old ballads, the old, jazz stuff. And so it's just, it's a difference of opinion, but does it mean that do you have to be different in every single thing you do to be an individual? There's too many people in the world to be able to, not with everyone else. And, especially now, but I mean always, relations between people have been so interconnected that there's, almost everything you do either affects someone else or was caused by someone else, and which will it'll connect, similarities.
Yeah.
There's no way you can be completely, unique in everything you do.
Yeah, I think there's, different combinations. Say I like something that you like, and then I like something that you like, and I like something that you like. So in one way, I'm similar to all of you, but then the combination, within me, makes me different.
Well, just an example of that, how many people around here are wearing jeans right now? Most of us.
Right.
So,
Everyone except Matt.
just because you're wearing jeans,
Matt and Crystal.
we're all the same people.
Yeah.
Not.
But in other ways, you actually want to find somebody that has, something in common with you. How, oh my gosh, we think alike. That way you can either somehow get on the same level of, conversation, or, you gravitate towards people with similar interests. Yeah. not so bad that you have some things
Well,
in common.
It's not necessarily bad, it's not necessarily bad or good, it's just there.
Go ahead.
I already said it.
Nobody heard it, so.
Oh, I said that's not necessarily good or bad if you're similar or not similar, it's just there, like.
So, are you still an individual if you have all these similarities with everyone else?
Yeah, except, like, that's what I said before, like, I have something similar to you, I have something similar to you, I have something similar to you, but that's different within me. Like, you're not gonna have the same thing similar, like, with me, and him, and it's not gonna be the same with me. Like,
I agree.
But what if you're a person who, like, starts or something? Like, if you look back in the 1920s, who was the first woman to do that bob haircut? Or who was the first woman to start smoking a cigarette?
Does anybody know?
Or to
No.
no one knows.
Make it more-
No one knows, but, like, who was that first person? That person was the first individual to that trend.
Or to
Not
make it more
necessarily.
localized, more in our times, I don't remember the name, the lady who sang at, yes, Aretha Franklin, had a hat, apparently, that was
It was really goofy.
out in Seattle, and the guy had had it on his shelf for years, and nobody ever bought it, and she liked it, and so she bought it, and now he can't keep them in stock fast enough.
Definitely, things like that, I mean, a certain person will have a certain taste, and maybe some people have the same taste, but they're too afraid to pursue what they like. So when one person pursues it and it becomes more popular, then they say, oh yeah, that's how I've always felt, but I've just been too scared.
It's not, some people can do it anyway, like she said about the haircut thing, I would be willing to bet someone did that before it became a trend, just they weren't important
I know,
enough
but, like,
to...
before it became a trend, who was that?
Yeah, exactly, obviously, but there, obviously, like, I bet there was someone who did it, like, way before that, who did it, and, like, they weren't important enough or whatever, that it didn't really do
okay, then
anything.
whoever did it before who wasn't important, they were the individual.
But,
Right,
like,
eventually someone did it and they had enough influence that it became a trend, but before that, I'm willing to bet someone did it and it didn't kick off or anything, whatever, but they still did it.
So whoever that person was the individual. Either way,
Yeah.
we're just saying who the individual is.
Well, like, I mean, it didn't even have to be someone saying, oh, I'm gonna cut my hair into a bob. I mean, there was, like, I don't know if anyone watched the movie Little Women, but it had, you know, she sold her hair, so she got it in a bob. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna cut my hair into a bob. It was like, I have no money. So someone might have, you know, done that, and then other people realized it. So it's not necessarily like someone's the first person to do it, because I mean, even if someone was, you know, say, I don't know, a type of torture was they cut all their hair off. Then, there you go, it starts it. It's not like,
Actually,
yeah.
maybe great things, sure.
The person does have to be important, because, like Kate said, we started, like, first wearing, like,
Probably the haircut
smoking
was an
or
example.
something. Like, this person wasn't important enough that we don't even know, so that means, like, everyone started to do it, so a chain reaction doesn't have to start from somebody that's, like, important, it can just be like, oh,
Yeah, there has to be a reason for it to start,
Yeah.
so.
And everybody makes choices. They make the choices that they feel that are important to make, that they're individuals. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the choices weren't given to them by other people to make. I mean, you make the choice as to what you wear, but who made the choice to put that in the stores for you to buy to begin with? I mean, it's not just because you make choices that make you feel like an individual and you do things that you feel like you're an individual, doesn't mean you necessarily are because you made that choice or you did that. You were probably influenced by someone else, and I mean, in some aspects, like we were saying before, you are an individual in some aspects, but not in every aspect.
I think the fact that you make choices, once you reach the age where, you know, about 8 years old, you can start being responsible for your own decisions and what you do and what you decide, is when, you know, that's when you really start to see the individual come out in the child. You know, they're no longer parroting the information that their parents tell them. They're coming up and making their own decisions and making their own choices, and I think that's what evolved into your individual, the way you are as an individual.
Yeah, but throughout your whole life, your choices you made are influenced by what you were taught as a kid.
But what you do with them is what makes you an individual.
That and also no person in the world is going to have the same choices given to them by others, which means that like Conica was saying, the individual combination of how each person's influence makes them individual.
Yeah, personal experience has a big impact. If you choose to wear a certain type of clothes, but then you go to school and you get made fun of because you're wearing those clothes, you're not going to want to wear them anymore. So you're going to choose to wear something else. Whether that makes you choose something that everybody else is wearing. You chose to do that because you didn't want to. Like I think we said it the other day, choosing to conform is being individual.
Every time I make a decision, I don't think you can really make a decision that someone else hasn't already made before. Mostly like what you just said. Each decision, someone influenced it or whatever. So the combination of all those in yourself makes you an individual. Because no one's going to have the exact same, no one's going to do exactly what you did every single time.
Like, there's people that have, like, the same situation with possibly the same choices, but, like, there may be the same choices, but there aren't going to be the same outcomes, which also throws off the individuality, or the similarity. Like, I may want to go fill this water bottle. I have a choice to not fill the water bottle or to fill the water bottle. If I don't fill the water bottle, I'll go thirsty. If I fill the water bottle, I won't go thirsty. But for someone else, they could choose to fill the water bottle, and then they might have another one in their bag. The situation is...
I don't know what just happened.
The situation for another person is exactly the same, but the outcome will be different. Because they may have another bottle in their bag.
I mean,
Or maybe they're not thirsty, but the situation is exactly the same, the outcome is different.
You're changing the situation because she has a bottle in her bag or she isn't. That completely changes the situation.
Yeah, like, all the things that happen to a person, they're like, even if, it's like a toddler or whatever, they've gone through enough things in their life, they've interacted with different people that, they're gonna